Hello and welcome to my Sunday From. So today I have actually pizza. I kind of toasted it a lot on the top and a lemonade, just regular lemonade. And I made a pozole with leftovers. And um yeah, it's um kind of a special day for me. So I like to treat myself. But let's take a bite of this pozole, see how we did. Mmm, that has so much flavor. Mm, I love it. It's so good. No, the pizza I just made because I wanted cheese bread. So, and I want to give that a taste too. I know it's all extra crispy. Mmm, this is actually good. I'm gonna dip it in the pozole. The pozole is super hot. It just got done cooking. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. That Fatima Bush thing about visa travel, it just hit me like what she said was so wrong. As a human being, you can go wherever you want, whenever you want. You have freedom to travel. And I think it's important, that we're documenting our journeys in our lives. We're each unique, we're each special, we each have our own paths. And a lot of people migrate, a lot of people are nomadic. My tribe is nomadic. And a lot of nomadic peoples, for example, we have the freedom to travel wherever we want. You know, it doesn't hurt nobody. And we have that freedom. And, a lot of countries um, are particularly into preservation of tribes groups and tribal people. They really put an effort into preserving and documenting our journeys and making sure we're safe and sound where we're at and that we're able to continue on our migration, if you will. And I think that's so important that where we've been, where we're from, that we have people like TSA all around the world, TSA documenting this specific thing, our journeys as human beings, whether we're in a group or we're by ourselves, we're each counted. We're not discounted. And what Fatima Bush said was, I don't have word for word, but she said, as an adult, when you apply for a job, um, for example, in this instance, whereas a grown woman would apply to become Miss Universe, knowing that she would tour. And in doing so, the application, she would accept that her job duty would solely fall on the fact that she would travel. And knowing this, she should be able to travel upon applying. And I said, well, not just women, but men have that problem. You know, it's not because the country is disallowing them sometimes, it's because they're a poor country. They're a small country. They're not as big and impactful some countries. And it's not the people's fault. It's, you know, sometimes a government oversight, sometimes it's a glitch, sometimes they overlooked it and didn't think it was a problem. But women, in the plight of equality, to beg us against society, and deeming us unfit to wear a crown that is based upon beauty and etc. I think that is showing lack of integrity, because she has casted a doubt upon the people for no reason, saying it's shady business to apply for a job that you know you can't get because you can't, you know, at once get up and go wherever you want due to laws, you know. And maybe the country figured it out to where they would allow them to leave the country, and they planned it, you know, they planned everything. But what people don't know is that the countries are very dedicated when they decide to take on a company, you know, a group like Miss Universe. They are balls in. And balls deep invested monetarily, so you know, all hands on deck. And, you know, debate altogether is off limits. They want this, they want it bad. It's gonna bring tourism, it's gonna bring money, it's gonna bring capital and a spotlight on each country. I think, I mean, like, Mexico wouldn't have expected this civil war, but, you know, right before, you know, this happened, I think they might not have wanted it that bad, but at the same point in time, you know, I'm happy they won. It's Mexico, but was she fit to compete? No, she's ugly. Was she fit to play a role of any Alcin su voz type feminist? No. I think she's diminishing the spotlight on feminism, on pro woman, on equal rights. She's the problem, is what I'm saying. She's a misogynist. Not only that, but she doesn't believe that people should have the freedom to travel. I find that so weird. So weird. Who would say that? And knowing her father's background, it really bothers me, because there's only been rumors and speculation. Because I know Pemex is a poor country, so Mr. Rocha isn't gaining such, you know, as much as everybody would like to believe. He's not gaining all this capital from his little Pemex. That's, I think one of the lures that Miss Universe brought him, that it was an international endeavor that did actually make wealthy men wealthier. That's his side hustle, maybe. But what's Mr. Bush's? Because obviously, if Mr. Rocha, Mr. Single Bachelor, needs a side hustle, then Mr. Bush, a family man from Tabasco, right? What's his side hustle that everybody's whispering about? Why is he so notorious? What does she tell the press? Oh yeah, I know Nawat was gonna sue me. I saw it this morning, the paperwork, and my daddy's gonna handle it. A grown woman. A grown woman. She didn't mean handled it. She meant handled it. Let's be honest. She talks very urban. So, I think, all this hush hush, there shouldn't be. We should be able to say what we want. Mm. Oh. And I think, I think the most fit woman should play the part of humanitarian this year, or whatever she was crying about. You know. But what I do know is that she has used her connections in America to the point where it's like threatening the security several times. And I think her trying to stay ahead of the game by doing that is crazy. If you think I fall for that, no, she has ulterior motives that have something to do with her daddy. And now there's no doubt in my mind that the rise in crime when she left to Thailand was because her daddy was so hyped up. He thought it was time. He was ready to take on Shine Bomb. Mm-hmm. When she was sitting there, like a sitting duck, she should have been calling people out for destroying her hometown, but she didn't. Why? Because girls like that like the chaos. It's a distraction from them continuing to be offensive, continuing to be a problem. continuing to cause divides. She doesn't have a lot of power behind that crown. Her mouth is her weapon, and she is not representing Miss Universe while she sits there and talks people out of their human rights to travel. You're not responsible enough. You're not accountable, you know, holding yourself accountable enough. You're not dignified enough. You don't have enough self discipline enough. You're not respectable enough to have the use of free travel. You know, it's crazy. Hmm. She thinks she has power because her daddy is like, what? What does he do? Launder money, sell drugs. He doesn't scare me. What scares me is what Shine Mom's gonna do to him, and the fact that she doesn't give a fuck about Mexico. She would blow up Tabasco before she let him pull one over her, and that's exactly what he's trying. And that's what scares me. Bitches like Fatima Bosch are failures of society. They're brought into the core trash. And that's where she should have gone. Her ugly ass should have gone into garbage. She should be in the landfill right now, you know, with the rest of the, Tabasco throwaways. And speaking of that, that makes me wonder, what else do they do? Because that Miss Jamaica thing was so weird to me. It was just so weird to me. I don't even think she'd survive. Like, she wasn't meant to. And the fact that she's black just, it's like even more alarming to me. I'm a B-dub. I'm a pageant queen. Yeah. And the fact that she could have, in fact, been the root of the problems in this year's pageant, it's like so concerning. Like I said, Miss Universe 2025, just an all around. Oh, and the majority of the problem was that not they picked a Mexican girl, because that's just kind of like, let's be honest. When you say Mexican girl and you use it as a slur, that means she's ugly. At least Butterface. So when when you just tell it like it is, Fatima Bosch Fernandez is feita. She's ugly in the face. She has a flat chest. She has a flat butt. She's just ugly. She don't have a body. She don't have a woman's body. And that's what this is, Miss Universe. This isn't Miss flat back acceptance. You know, and they starve themselves to do the swimsuit competition. So really, you were looking at nothing in the first place. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong, because when everybody woke up and took one look at that Thea girl, they gagged. They were done with Miss Universe. And when they said Rocha did this, Anna J did that, they ate it. They ate it. Because why? Because that bitch was ugly. And there's no way an ugly girl would get that far, much less win the crown. I can understand she got that far because she was related to somebody, but that happens a lot. They let you go in because it's not going to hurt nothing. And then you don't win the crown because obviously you're not a good you're not a good competition. You're not a good competitor. You don't have the competition. You don't speak well. You don't have any etiquette. You don't know how to communicate to large masses, of audience. You don't know how to act and behave like a real woman. You don't know you don't know what it's like to give speeches to younger girls. And one thing for sure about her is that she didn't have any skills to do the beauty stuff, like the swimsuit stuff, the gown, um, all that stuff that, you need to flaunt in front of people and just, post about it and just take pictures with whomever, even your family, and just be flashed around because you're literally turned into a Barbie doll. And it doesn't feel ugly. It feels great. Even if it was rigged because she was related to somebody or knew somebody or was really close to somebody, you know, they give them, a lot of companies give them that opportunity. And I understand that what y'all are saying, that Miss Universe doesn't allow that because it's very strict. But then again, it comes to the point where it's strict. Then how does she get in? She had to use force. There was threats of violence, or there was acts of violence. There was unlawful behavior at one point or another that they were forced into allowing this so easily. No. But like I said, she could have done this to Ana J and Rocha, knowing that she had already got her foot jammed in the door. But like I said, that beauty thing, it's all cap because she doesn't have the face. She has a very long face and it hangs pointed, long, like the moon on the bottom. Her brow is like a man, like old man, bushy, very bushy, connected almost in the center. Very unkempt, her eyebrow. Her structure of her face is very weak. You know, it looks like she has generational um, incest, like one tree branch in her family, because her face is so not giving any normal structure. Um, and that's just based on the beauty part of Miss Universe. It's not there. She doesn't have a skin color, a glow, and she's not proud of herself, because people who are very urban, very ratchet minded, they use victim mentality. It's a victim card that they get passes, you know. You know, how they, what did they call um Shine Bomb, the narco administration? And she probably just went and said, I come from the narco administration. That's why y'all don't like me. Because I act a certain way. Because I come from, you know, the people who are overlooked. And it's easy to say, oh, I'm sorry. Nobody ever helped you before. And given the philanthropy part of Miss Universe, they're gonna you're gonna sit there and hand her all kinds of things: the sun, the moon, everything under the stars. hmm And a lot of times, people that don't have bone structure in their face and don't have a body, you know, it's because of age. Like maybe when she was in her early 20s, she was growing, but didn't fully blossom because she aged too fast from living that type of lifestyle, very nautical, very cartel, kind of bochona. hmm hmm A lot of girls like her, they hang around the border. hmm They get men in a lot of trouble, and they have nothing to lose because that's the life they chose. And in Mexico, they're more conservative type. They can spot you from a mile away. They can smell you crossing the border, you know, like, ocean breeze. I'm sorry, but she only fooled herself, really, because now that she has that crown on her head, she acts like she's Miss Universe. And everybody is so upset because they feel like Miss Universe should be the most beautiful woman of the year. And she's the most meanest, snobbiest, stuck up princess case they have ever laid eyes on. And to boot, she's ugly. It's very, very giving modern times. But, you know, I hope I hope that everything works out for Rocha and Energy and what. And today there's a feast of La Virgen de Guadalupe. Um, I hope next Miss Universe, you know, we get like the real deal. And whatever those people are doing in Tabasco and around the world, because she's been to Thailand and God knows where else. She's very defensive. Like if you ask her, I bet you gone to this country, she gets real defensive. Like she was planning to do something in every country she visited. I'm telling you what happened. I know what I know. I know what I know. That's all I can say. But if you like this video, give it a like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm gonna finish my pizza, my Sunday from. Bye bye.